This is Jamie from So You Want to Start a Business. Today I am so happy that I get to introduce the world, not that a lot of you don't already know him, to KO Kerry Overfelt. Kerry is the owner of Darkside Athletics in Bardstown, Kentucky, and wanted to get with him and let you know what everybody else already knows of what a great personality he is, how much caring he has for the people that he works for and that he's in business for, and just the part of how much he knows his stuff. In the discussion, we talk about how you kind of have to go with the flow. Sometimes you got to roll with the punches. Sometimes you don't know what life is going to present to you. And that definitely happened during the recording. My camera decided it was going to stop working, so luckily you don't even have to look at me through most of it. You only have to listen to see the star of the show, Kerry. And then at the end of it, we also had issues with his and got cut short. We didn't go on and record the rest of it since we were getting close to our time anyways, and there was so much more that I really wanted to ask him that I think that you all would want to know. But we're going to hopefully get more of you involved. Hopefully you see the type of information that you can get from these interviews that we're going to be doing. Get more subscribers on here. Let you start to ask questions. And hopefully by popular demand, we'll get him back on here. I've already talked to him and we've already talked about that. So with that, enjoy the interview and then I'll have a little wrap up at the end. Today's guest is KO Kerry Overfelt. Kerry is the owner of Darkside Athletics in Bardstown, Kentucky. I first joined Kerry in Campbellsville College and became great friends with him. I came into Campbellsville in 1993 and then got to play along with Kerry for 2 years. After leaving Campbellsville, Kerry became a prized participant in the Highland Games, and in 2013 he became the national champion. After that, he opened his gym, Darkside Athletics, and he will explain to you in the interview how that name came about, and has been working with athletes for a long time now. After his Highland Games and working with his gym, he decided to get back into the competitive flow and become a competitive bodybuilder. His body transformation just shows the discipline that he has and the drive that he has to become successful and to follow the same steps that he teaches his athletes. To show that he has that dedication to what he's doing, just teaches his athletes so much about listening to him, knowing that he knows what he's doing and that he's willing to walk the walk. So with that, welcome, Kerry Overfelt. And we're here with my good friend, Kerry Overfelt, KO. Thanks for coming on the show with us.
I'm honored to be here, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely, you were one of the first ones that I wanted to contact because, we kind of talked some back and forth, as far as me starting my business and hopefully some of the stuff that I'll be able to do for you and just the part of the work that you do with your business. So I know that your business is one of that it doesn't necessarily or just benefit you, but it benefits so many other people and stuff like that. With what you do. So I wanted to reach out to you and have you be the first one. And then since we all know your personality and so many people love you, then maybe we'll have you back later on too, as the,
Not for sure.
as the,
One of those, but okay.
as the subscribers come along, get you more up there. So just real quick, give us a rundown about yourself up to the time that you, went to reach Campbellsville, at least at that point. Where you're from, stuff like that, and your background getting to there.
From a very little, small area, rural area originally. Caverna High School is a little 1A school down in Horse Cave, Cave City area. So had a very staggered course getting to Campbellsville, actually. So right out of high school, I went to Eastern Kentucky for a semester and didn't think college was for me. I grew up a farm kid, and I just thought I was a grunt. So, I just, do manual labor and, those kind of things is what I probably need to stick to. Campbellsville recruited me years ago, and I ended up meeting my half-sister when I was 20, I think I was 21. And then got to thinking about going back to school and maybe playing football again because I love the sport. And that's just kind of how I ended up at Campbellsville was, again, it's a kind of a long story, but very shifty, path there. So, for people that don't have a clear-cut path to stuff, my suggestion would be hold on to your dream, because it's not always like it's laid out. Most people get out of high school, go to college, get a job, have a family, boom. That's their life. Mine was totally different. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that was totally different too. So, that was getting to Campbellsville, and I was lucky enough that once that, I was there, it's home. I'm in contact with, a lot of former players all the time. Best friends ever made was at Campbellsville in college. And it's helped me, quite a bit. I train several of our old teammates' kids now. I do a lot of athletic training, so I train a lot of them now. But that's kind of how I got, to Campbellsville. Grew up very, very poor. Came from nothing. Single parent. Mom worked 2 jobs, and never really had much. Didn't really know I was poor, till I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and then when kids start making fun of you for your shoes and whatever else. But so I don't want to say I grew up rough because I don't believe that. I grew up privileged, really, having the privilege of being poor. I'm a cockroach, brother. Nothing holds me down. Nothing, it's easy. Life's pretty easy for me now, that I went through all that. So that was my, kind of my leading up path to getting to Campbellsville.
And I think that, I was in kind of the same way, growing up in Flemingsburg and, in Fleming County and stuff like that. I think it's a sign of good parenting.
Yeah.
Whenever they are so poor, but they don't let their kids know, they bring you up in a way that it's life and you're so happy together and you sit out there and you work your ass off and stuff like that. They teach you those types of lessons and everything else. And that's the way you learn life is.
Yeah.
You get that work ethic and stuff like that coming up. And it's funny because like you were saying that your path to Campbellsville is kind of like, we always called you the old man anyways, as you started later. But, I didn't plan on going to Campbellsville. I originally was going to put in the introduction there is I planned on going to Georgetown. I'd always wanted to go to Georgetown because my sister had went to Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
And that was the year that Donnelly had left and Coach Cronin was the assistant and was going to get there. And I was going to go to Georgetown if he had gotten the job where they had recruited me. And where they decided to go off to a different direction with Bush, I didn't want to be with them. So I followed my best friends at that point.
Yeah.
With Dwayne Ellison, Junior Marshall, Brent Porter, and then Travis Earlywine was my best friend. One of my best friends played baseball there.
Yeah.
It was like we went there on a recruiting trip and had the time of our life. With the trip down there and everything else. So it was like, and I played there 2 years and things didn't work out for whatever reason, and I decided to go to Georgetown later on. even though I didn't play football for the first, I went 2 years without playing football. And then Coach Cronin got the job in 97.
Yep.
So I went to him and I'm like, I'd lost 70 pounds then.
Wow.
Between that time, because I wasn't playing football and I decided to just walk around and actually exercise.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of my football weight. I played at Campbellsville at like 310, something like that. And then I ended up playing at Georgetown at 230.
It's a big difference.
So you can imagine not having that base, to play. But I was so excited to play for Georgetown at that point, and then we ended up playing Campbellsville. So happy to see you guys. And then, if you look up the record books, Campbellsville hasn't had the best record against Georgetown.
No.
But, of course, you all kick our butts that year. I looked it up last night, and that year was actually the biggest winning span as far as score. You all had beat us worse than any time that Campbellsville had ever beat Georgetown. It was only 14. I think it was 38 to
because
21 or something like that.
My claim to fame is that the both years I started, I never lost to Georgetown. So I don't have a loss against Georgetown as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And that year, though, that was a big year because at that time Georgetown had really, really come up. And the only reason that, you guys had the losses was because y'all had played a lot bigger schools at the time. So, we were, it was going to be a dogfight and we knew it. And we just had a couple things go our way, luckily. And, we came out with the conference championship and got to go to the playoffs for the first time and all that. So that was, it was a big deal for us. But you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not even funny. Like, it's
yeah.
I've posted about it several times. I'm not happy, about the direction the schools went. So thank goodness that, they're getting a new staff in there now. But, you went there and really actually good. Now, were you there the year after when they won the national?
No, 97 was my last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think right after that they won a national championship, correct?
Right in around 2000, 2001, yeah.
All right. So it was a couple years after.
Around that area, yeah.